Nitrogen. Hydrogen's not part of the game. Food sure is. In. Speaking of life support, I actually am not really aware. Oh, they're already at 100%. I'm not really aware of what the life support situation is at Minmus Station where these folks are going. But there's a lot of resources just in this thing alone. But should think maybe about having to water. That's something I should probably think about. I can get this out. Restocking the life support. Okay, 7. So this is water, water, water. That's it. 3 water tanks. That's already done. Let's do a quick looky-loo over the rest of this, but I think I'm closing in on what they need. Carbon dioxide. I think I'm going to call it. Okay. So that should, these folks here should be ready to go. All right, so again, we're going to undock. And we'll do a quick look over and make sure everything is fine, because the last thing I want to do is, you know, head these folks off to Minmus. We're backing away from the station. There we go. And we're going to toggle on the reaction wheels again, which are right here. Yep. And looking at resources here, everything is pretty much filled up. They got a little bit of wastewater with them. I guess I could have pumped that out, but that really doesn't matter. Everything else doesn't really matter. Oh, I should have checked. How are they for... Okay, so we're down a parachute. I should have checked this before we left. And, okay, we're down 1 parachute. You know what? Let's get a parachute. I was about to say, oh, the odds of us needing that parachute, but that's when... Oh, Jeb doesn't have his parachute. Jeb would have to go down with the ship. Okay, that's... You know what? We're gonna not... Jeb's gonna go back and get his parachute, but we're gonna do that via EVA. So, again, we're gonna turn the pressure control off. EVA Jebediah. There might be parachutes on Minmus Station. I got a feeling that I took them off and left them there, but we'll just... I think Jeb can... we're stealing your parachute here, Rob. We'll sort it all out when we get back. I have me a feeling there's a bunch of parachutes on Minmus Station. But better safe than sorry. Alright, and turn the pressure control back on. Always have trouble finding it. There it is. And we'll run our alignment script to line up the solar panels. But otherwise, we should be on our way to Minmus. So let's start plotting our course to Minmus. So Minmus here is going to be our target. Now, something I've made very little use of. It always takes me months to get to a point when the game introduces a new feature before I'm really starting to use it. But there is a maneuver tool. I should be able to just select Minmus. And I should be able to say, hey, go ahead and create a node for me. And there it is. There's its node that it's created for me. An 896 meter per second burn. It looks like it's going out past Minmus. When is this going to happen? Start the burn in 35 days. No, we're not going to do that. So it is actually waiting. The game is waiting until Minmus ends up crossing Kerbin's equatorial plane for it to do the burn. We're not going to wait that long. So I'm not waiting 35 days for you, Minmus. I suspect you're probably right that that's going to be the more efficient way to go. I don't care. I don't want to wait that long. So we're going to burn right now. Well, not now, but on this orbit. Let's get this out there. Oh, this is still going to work fine. I don't see what the... Oh, wait. What's... Oh, no, we're hit... What is this? Curb and escape. Okay. Are we... I'm a little confused what's happening there. You adjust the timing a little bit? Dial it back a bit. Okay, I just overcooked it. Silly. Alright, so we're going to come... Oh, is it not going to let me... Here, let's put in the... No, I think I need to come a little bit this way. A little bit backwards, yeah. It's always about 1/6 of an orbit. But I'm going to have to put in a bit of a normal correction here, but that's okay. This is just a temporary one just to make sure we do have our encounter. There we go, now I can see it. Okay, let's focus this view on Minmus. And if we have to do an mid-course correction, I'm perfectly comfortable with that. And let's adjust the timing here a little bit. Oh, that's a miss. Alright, we'll just bring this in here. Let's see. Now there is a space station in polar orbit about Minmus, so we're going to need to make a little bit of a correction, especially when I start pushing the wrong buttons here. You know, I don't know why I'm getting super... It looks like we're coming in at a nice time. We won't have to make too much of a plane change to get into our station. But, okay, that's going to be a good enough burn for now. We're going to end up having to do this second correction here anyway. So, I will leave that there. That's okay. Let's get this going. So, let's see. The burn's coming up in 7 minutes. Activate the engine. Full... Oh, turn the throttle limiter right up, because it's going to be a long enough burn as it is. Program off. Okay. Let's get ourselves a little bit closer. Sorry, the burn's in 17 minutes. And I'm just doing this by hand because I want to make sure that the station's not going to be in our way once we execute this burn. So I'm going to wait till we're about 5 minutes ahead of the burn. The station looks like it's going to want to... Yeah, I don't like the way this is working. So the station might end up being close to our path. So what I'm going to do, we're about 6 minutes from the burn. I'm just going to put myself onto the maneuver node. Actually, I don't need to get it right on the maneuver node, but actually you might as well. No. Changing my mind. I'm going to point... So I want to end up getting past the station here before we start executing the burn. So I'm going to point kind of in this direction. There we go. Turn on RCS. Just do this. Give us a little bit of... Whoa, where are you going? A little bit of forward momentum so we can get past the station here. So the last thing you want to do is engage that engine and, you know, crash right into the station. That would be bad. Okay, let's time warp a little bit, but now we're moving past the station. Yep, things are looking good there. Turn on my alarm clock. Oh, see, it's gave me automatically a maneuver node. So it's always going to stop me. This is going to stop me from doing all these silly over time warps that I have a tendency to do. Thank you. Okay. Get here. We'll run our maneuver executor. So it's going to be a 3 minute and 16 second burn because when this thing's completely fueled up, it's a lot of mass. We're getting ready to go though. A little closer. Say goodbye to the station. Finally get ourselves to Minmus. And really start getting us some science, because at Minmus Station there is a lander, there's plenty of fuel, we can get down to the surface repeatedly. We also have a lab on Minmus Station, so the samples that we collect from Minmus Station we should be able to process in the lab, which means we don't have to bring them back to Kerbin, and be able to transmit that science. Okay, we are off. Excellent. And we'll do a little bit of physics time warping here, because this is not going to be a short burn. You might be noticing here an alarm for the OKTO 2-2. That is a magnetometer satellite that is measuring the Kerbin's magnetic field. And to give you, I can show you here, if I look at my magnetometer reports. Oh, oh wait, it is only showing what's on this vessel, right? No. There we go. Magnetometer reports. There we are. If I look at Kerbin and look at space high, I just have to, I'm almost done the global one to do a magnetometer report outside of all the magnetic fields in space high above Kerbin, and this satellite is on its way out to its apoapsis, where I'm going to circularize it outside of all of the magnetic fields. And then it also has to wait around for a solar storm to happen to finish this stuff off. It also, there's one for a solar storm in low space, but I can't get back to low space, so that's going to have to be for another day. Brian asked, do Kerbals age and die? No, they do not. They die, but not by old age. Okay, take the time warp off. Closing in towards the end here. Now that the station is no longer being rendered, this is running a lot quicker. It's the problem with building big stations, at least for me. Okay, here comes our burn, and it's missing. It's coming south of Minmus because of the inclination difference. Burn is complete. Okay, well, I don't know. Whatever. I'll fix the rest of this with, I'm fine with that. Let's see here. We got a maneuver coming up here, and I can see it is not hitting. Oh yeah, I can tell. Okay, we got to give a little bit more thrust here. I can see that. Push that apoapsis out a little bit further. There. Okay. Okay, now let's adjust this guy a little bit. Now, what do I have? Oh yeah, I must have positive normal. So let's play around with what gets the most bang for our buck in terms of the timing. It's probably not too much of a difference. No. It's already pretty close to the right spot. Okay, we're gonna, missing Minmus by a little bit, so we're gonna use a little bit of radial, I think would be the best plan. Yeah, to bring it this way. Zoom in on Minmus again. Our target here is the station. And so the station's coming around here in a clockwise direction, so we need to make sure that we come along and match its direction, which means we want to come to the south of Minmus. So that means a little bit more this way. Oh, that was a lot more that way. Let's come back. A little bit more this way. Beautiful. Just like that. And what altitude's this thing at? I can't remember. Let's set it as a target. Can I do that? Is it going to let me? You're not going to let me area. Go back to target selection. Stations. Minmus station. There we go. It's at about 32 kilometer orbit. So I want this to be about 32 kilometers. There we go. All right, let's keep playing with this. A little bit more that way. Yep. A little bit more this way. Oh, very, very close already. I don't know if I'll be able to burn it as precisely as this anyway. A little bit more this way, but we can make a correction once we're in Minmus's SOI. And what is our inclination difference? Not much. Can't see the number there. 8.5 degree inclination difference. It's like I planned it out, but I certainly did not. Okay, that burn is coming up in a day and 2 hours, and you can see we've already got our maneuver set up for it. Let's align up our solar panels, and then we're going to hop out to the OKTO 2, and then we'll come back to these ones. This one. It's just reorienting itself for solar panel exposure. Maximize it. We're not going to be out from Minmus for a little bit, but that's okay. What do we got here? Oh, we're being exposed to extreme radiation because we're into the lower radiation belt. But you can see here the radiation inside the habitat is not too bad. 1/10 of what it is on the outside. Okay, that's all set. All right, let's jump to the OKTO 2. And by the way, thank you to everybody who was telling me to get into the settings on Alarm Clock and put in these auto alarms. More than once people were saying that to me. I never did dig into the settings here, but just to show people, for people that might be interested, there is a ton of configurability in here. And the one that I've been playing is these are here where you can set, like, do automatic alarms for maneuver nodes and sphere of influences changes and stuff like that. That is super duper handy. But anyway, we are gonna get to our apoapsis in 4 hours and 22 minutes. So let's get out there. And just to show you the radiation belts, maybe I should show you this. This is the Kerbin's magnetosphere. So our goal is to get out of the magnetosphere. You can see we're on our way there. And you know, I'm just going to burn. We've done all the science we can inside the magnetic sphere. You can see it's impossible, actually. Well, it's not impossible. I can get my periapsis way out here, I suppose. But that's not particularly important. All I want to do is get as much of this orbit outside of the magnetosphere as I can. And kind of call it. So, okay, let's close the alarm here. Actually, we don't need this no more. How far are we from? Let's get a little closer to apoapsis. Got our time to apoapsis here, two minutes. Here, let's get a little closer. All I'm going to do is point this prograde and burn. This is going to be its last maneuver. This is the last thing this thing is going to do. And this started, by the way, in low orbit about Kerbin, and it's been making its way outwards for quite some time. It's been doing yeoman work. So all we're doing here is pushing up our periapsis height, now our apoapsis height, that we're past that. And the idea here is just to get as much of this orbit outside. Oh, hopefully we won't get messed up by the moon. Oh, look at this. It can be all outside. There we go. I think by the time we get out to here, it's going to be done anyway. So I don't think this is a particularly... That wasn't necessary, but that's fine. We only got 17 meters per second left. So this is going to be the end of you. But you did good work. Got a little bit more science to collect, and then your job is done. Let's get back to the NERV. Jump to ship. I really think we can do that. I think we got enough time. There's a lander there just waiting for us. Okay. Again, I'm going to do a before I do a bunch of time, I'm going to do a quick save. And we are leaving Kerbin. We're already, you can see, a nice healthy distance away from Kerbin. Our observations is detecting a coronal mass ejection happening towards the Kerbin system coming our way. There we are. It's going to last for 3 hours and 12 minutes, but these folks should be fine. This craft is well shielded. Actually, that'll be some nice science. Oh, Havier's shipwreck is out of batteries. Oh, there we go. Magnetometer reports space high Kerbal global. That satellite has now done its job. It's done. There was one there saying that Havier's wreck has run out of electricity. I should delete those. Those were the crafts that we rescued our Kerbals from the moon. Looking at the moon, there's the moon way back there. All right, we're coming up to our burn. Close that off. I keep deleting the node and then it just makes another one. So I'll delete it when we're done. I think there's something in the settings to get it not to do that. Okay, we're about a minute from the burn. Open up KOS. And run our maneuver executor. There it goes. So this is about a 7-second burn, 35 meters per second, and this is all because we are just, you know, we left from an equatorial orbit about Kerbal. Normally, I think every other time I've ever gone to Minmus, I've done it with a vehicle that I've just launched from the surface. And, let's turn that off. And I've always launched into an orbit, a parking orbit that was in the same plane as Minmus's orbit, so I've never had to do this correction, or at least not as big a correction as this. Though, I mean, 35 meters per second is hardly big. But, you know, that's what it is. I put the station about Kerbal in an equatorial orbit, so that means it's not in the same plane as Minmus. I could have put it in an orbit that was in the same plane as Minmus, but then, of course, then it wouldn't be in the same plane as the moon, so what you gonna do? Okay, here we go. Let's view this from Minmus's perspective. You know, let me take a look here. You're gonna be this way, aren't you? I don't want to warp there. I just want to zoom in on you. Arr. What? Nope. I can't tell how close my trajectory is because it won't let me select Minmus as... Okay, we're going to do it this way. Da-na-na-na-na. Minmus, okay. How close did we get? Oh, heck. Oh, wow, I can't complain about that for an automated burn. We'll just fix this when we get into Minmus's SOI. It's already set up the maneuver for Minmus's SOI. We'll get ourselves out there, 8 days away, but we got nothing else happening, so we can just zoom on out.